5 minutes because we are waiting for other students to join us. And please be patient. Gangwal with us. He is RBI Grade B Officer 2016. A little background about Saurabh. So Saurabh is an engineer from IIT Gandhinagar and is currently working with NABARD. He cracked RBI Grade B exam 2016 and is currently expected to join RBI in another 2 to 3 months. So I'll hand over to Saurabh to start the session on how to crack RBI Grade B.
Hello, good morning everyone. So I feel very excited for this talk because this is the first time I would be delivering such a lecture sitting on the opposite side. Otherwise, I was always a student. Now, after this grand success, I feel happy to be with you all and help you out in your preparation. So in this presentation, I will tell you about the RBI Grade B exam and how to handle this exam, because knowledge is something different from cracking exam. So there are two aspects. One is you gain knowledge and another aspect is you crack the exam. Secondly, I would also deal with why RBI and what is RBI. So we first begin with what is RBI. So have a look at these pictures. So this is the picture from RBI Delhi, located on Sansad Marg, and this is the place where I was invited for interview. This is the inside view of this place, and I will remember this place all my life. Now, the RBI job became very fascinating after Dr. Raghuram Rajan joined RBI because he brought RBI into limelight. So here is a sentence from him which speaks about RBI. A job in the Reserve Bank of India is not simply a career. It is a commitment to serve the nation, where we seek to make a difference to the lives of millions of Indians all over the country. Truly, every word of this statement is true. RBI sitting silently makes a difference, a huge difference to the lives of millions of Indians. And this you had realized when this whole exercise of demonetization happened. So now, after this, we now come to the RBI Grade B, that is the officer in RBI Grade B. So in RBI, there is a grading system. So there are grades like A, B, C, D, E, F, which are in opposite to what is a normal notion. So normally people consider A to be superior than B, but in RBI it is opposite. So it is B which is higher than A and C which is higher than B. But RBI Grade B is very special because this is the highest entry position in RBI. Beyond this, all the people working in RBI are promoted from Grade B. Okay, so this makes you the. So we have a question from here. Till what group it extends from AK? So it is up to Grade G. And a person joining as Grade B officer can go up to Deputy Governor and even up to Governor. We will come back to this aspect after this after a brief presentation on the job profile. So now we will take up first the job profile, then the salary and perks, and then the other benefits of working at RBI. So as I already said that RBI sitting silently does many tasks, which is very important for the nation. So it is a job that creates an impact that the nation can't ignore, because the financial system of the country, which is being regulated by RBI and some other regulators such as SEBI, etc., but RBI being the prominent because it is the central bank of the country. So the financial system is the backbone of the economy. So in a way, RBI is responsible for the Indian economy. It is a multidisciplinary job, so you will never be bored of work. There will be ample opportunities to work in different areas, such as even technology like fintech. So RBI has fintech division, RBI has monetary policy divisions, RBI has supervision division where you go to different banks and check whether any malfunctioning is happening or not, check for cyber security, etc. So it is a multidisciplinary job. You will find a job which suits your interest and which is best for your capability. So a grade B officer can go up to deputy governor or even up to governor. Why so? Because in RBI we have 4 deputy governors and 2 of them are compulsorily those who rise from the grade B level, and 2 others can be from outside or even from the RBI pool of talent. And even these deputy governors can become the governors. Now, this job is not a routine job. RBI is a knowledge institution. So the job profile is mainly intellectual. So you will have ample of learning opportunities throughout your career, including option of study leaves, PhD schemes, bank sponsored education at places such as Harvard, Booth School, MIT, etc. So these are the best places in the world to get education from. And this will all happen when you join RBI. Now, the important component of any job is salary and perks. The starting salary of grade B officer is nothing less than 16 to 18 lakh CTC. And trust me, it is not a private company CTC where they announce big things but they don't deliver. It is a real CTC, and you get around 1 lakh in hand after the November 2017 revision, which is due this year. Plus you get 2 BHK flats at excellent locations in Mumbai if you are posted in Mumbai, and even throughout India. RBI provides you accommodation, very good accommodation. And you already know, some of your friends might be working in the private sector in Mumbai or such locations, Bangalore, and ask them how difficult today is to get a flat in Mumbai or in Bangalore. But if you are working in RBI, you will get the best of it. Now it also has allowances such as furniture, petrol, electronics, flat furnishing, this and that, which all adds up and makes the CTC as 18 to even 20 lakhs. Now RBI also gives you ample opportunity to explore your hobbies, such as some people might be having hobby of mountaineering, trekking, etc. Now RBI provides you platform that you can go and do those things and come back and join RBI without losing any seniority or even without having to avail any of the leaves. And even leaves are fantastic. And also you have LTC, that is traveling by RBI sponsored. Your traveling is your and your family's traveling once in 2 years is sponsored by RBI. So overall it makes this organization excellent place to work. And really the RBI has been voted as the 3rd best employer in the country. And the Glassdoor rating of RBI is 4.3, which is very excellent. Now I briefly come to the entry points to RBI. So there are only 2 entry positions in RBI. One is RBI Grade B officer, which is class 1 officer, and second is the RBI assistant. So there are only 2 exams conducted by RBI. So assistant becomes manager after a few years, but there is no comparison between an RBI Grade B officer and RBI assistant, because only the Grade B officers have that kind of opportunity that you can make a difference to the economy of India. Now, this is the answer to the previous question, that what is the hierarchy in RBI. So you will enter at this location. So the Grade B officers are also known as managers. And after 5 years, you are promoted to AGM level. Then you rise up to DGM, GM, CGM, and Principal Chief General Manager. Then Executive Directors, Deputy Governors, and finally the Governor. So up to this level, DGM, the promotions are very certain, and beyond this, the promotions are based on your performance. So we have a question from Jetty Mittal. After how many years roughly does one get promoted from grade A to grade B? First of all, RBI does not have exam or entry position at grade A. You join as assistant, then after you get the first promotion, you become the grade A officer. Then when you get the second promotion, you become the grade B officer. I think it does not take less than 10 years. So this makes the difference. That is why grade B is excellent opportunity. Now, these are some of the other benefits of working with RBI, and this first point is the one which excites me the most. Basically, I'm an engineer, but I have some financial background also, and I love to work in finance field. So, joining RBI will provide me opportunities to work with the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, the Bank of International Settlements, which is in Basel, Switzerland, which sets the Basel norms, of course, and then the Ministry of Finance also, Government of India. So this is the multi-dimensional aspect of this job, that you are exposed to different kinds of experience. You can explore the world of finance, and you can also become the board of directors in commercial banks, and you get the excellent accommodation and guest houses all across the country. So basically, this is the elite kind of job you can aspire for. And then various loans at concessional rates, of course. So we have a question from Rahul, who is asking, after how many years a promotion from entry position happen for a grade B officer? So presently this is around 5 to 6 years. Now the important aspect of the benefit is the work-life balance, which is missing terribly in private sector. The RBI provides you the right kind of balance to balance your life with the work. So now read this statement. Never get so busy making a living that you forget to make a life. This is the case with what is happening with your friends working in the private sector. They are so busy throughout the day and even on Saturdays that they do not have any time, or they cannot take a leave from the office for any of the functions or any of the outings you want to have. So this kind of life is something which is not desirable. After all, what will you do with that kind of money if you are not able to enjoy your life? So this is the basic aspect of the RBI job. They give you ample opportunities to make your life enjoyable, because it is not a routine work. They basically seek your knowledge, not the work from you. Now we come to the preparation aspect. When you prepare for RBI Grade B, you have advantage, or rather you have multiple options to enter into different areas. Like when you prepare for RBI, simultaneously you are preparing for NABARD Grade B as well as NABARD Grade A. NABARD is nothing but you can say the brother and sister of RBI. Similarly, SIDBI and National Housing Bank. So NABARD was carved out of RBI in 1982, and this position Grade B is similar to RBI Grade B position, but of course you don't have that kind of brand value which is with the RBI. Now various insurance and bank exams, but the point to be noted here is not vice versa. If you prepare for insurance or other bank exam or SIDBI or NABARD, you cannot crack the RBI Grade B, definitely. But if you prepare for RBI Grade B and by some luck you miss the RBI Grade B, you can land to NABARD Grade B or NABARD Grade A or even different insurance and banks. Now the eligibility conditions for this exam. You require a minimum 60% marks or equivalent in bachelor's degree as well as in class 12th and 10th standards examination. And the number of attempts you can make into this exam is 6 for the general category, and age limit is 30. But of course there are some relaxation rules. Like if you are working in a commercial bank for some number of years, then you get some relaxation in age. So those rules and regulations are available on the RBI notification. You can go through them. Now the aspect related to the percentage. So if your college is providing you CPI or CGPA etc. and not percentage, then it should be 6.75, or it can be lower also like 6.56, but your college has to give in writing that 6.56 stands for the first class. And of course before you can also confirm this from RBI, but as far as I know, if your college certifies that you have first class degree, then they will allow you to sit up for RBI exam. For for SC, ST and other categories, this is 5.75 and 50% of marks. So we have a question from Arpit. Appearing in phase 1 also makes an attempt. Yes, definitely. When you appear in the one paper of phase 1, then your attempt is counted. But if you apply and don't go for the exam, then your attempt won't be counted. So we have a question regarding salary. Now for that aspect, I would like to tell you that your salary would be enough to enjoy your life. You will have no limitations on that aspect. So you can be sure that salary would be very satisfying. Now this is the exam pattern which is continuing from last 2 years, that is 2015 and 2016. Before this exam pattern was something different. Now this is a 3-stage exam process. You have phase 1, then you have phase 2, and then you have phase 3. Now phase 1 is qualifying in nature, means it is like a hurdle. You have to just cross it. And when you cross the phase 1, you land into domain of phase 2. Now this phase 2 is counted towards your final selection. So in final selection, the marks you get in phase 2 and the marks you obtain in interview, that is the phase 3, will be counted towards your final rank and final selection. So you can briefly see over here that what is the exam structure. So in phase 1 you have one paper which consists of general awareness section, English section, quant section and reasoning section. The overall duration of exam is 2 hours and there is no separate sectional duration. So you can toggle between these sections up to your comfortability. So someone might be expert in quant, he would spend less time in quant and devote more time to reasoning, or like that. This is a 2-hour exam and marks allotted are 200. You have to just cross the cutoff. And this is entirely objective. Then there is phase 2, which consists of 3 papers: English, economic and social issues, finance and management, and all of them are of 100 marks each. Now you have to cross the cutoff of phase 2 by a total of these 3 papers, and also you should get some extra marks. Otherwise you won't be able to qualify for final selection. Then you have interview, which is of 50 marks. And this entire process is online. So it makes it very fast. So when you appear for phase 1, you have result in like 4 or 5 days. When you appear in phase 2, Again, you have result in like 7 or 10 days. So we will go into detailed aspects of these phase 1, phase 2 in the next few slides. So before that, we go to the analysis of the 2016 RBI. So this is the phase 1 related cutoffs displayed on the RBI website. You must have seen this because some of you might have appeared this year as well. Now, the marks allotted to the general awareness section is 80. Marks allotted to reasoning is 60, allotted to English is 30, and quantitative aptitudes is again 30, making it aggregate of 200. Now you see the sectional cutoffs. So you have to clear a overall cutoff which was 98.5 this year, and before this year it was 88 something. But apart from the overall cutoff, you have to clear the sectional cutoffs also, like 20, 15, 7.5 and again 7.5. So you can see a pattern over here. So basically it is the 25% of the marks allotted to the section. So 25% of 80 makes it 20, 25% of 60 makes it 15, like that. But this is not followed every year. Sometimes it can be even up to 40%. So it depends on the RBI. So the best strategy would be to at least score 50% of marks, or at least try to score 50% of marks in each of the sections. So we have questions coming regarding the level of difficulty in each of these sections. So in my next few slides will answer your queries regarding this. So this is about the last year's 2016 paper. The general awareness had 80 questions and the level of difficulty was easy to moderate. And a good person who has prepared well will definitely score something like 60 or even up to 70. I have seen people scoring 65, 66, 62, 61. And remember, the overall cutoff was only 98.7 something, 98.5. So if a person is scoring around 60 or 70 in the GS itself, then overall cutoff will not be a trouble to this person. So this is very easy to clear the overall cutoff if your score in general awareness is high. And general awareness is very important because of another aspect as well, which is NFS, that is the need for speed. Phase 1 is entirely about the speed. So you can see here the approximate time taken for this section. In just about 25 minutes or even in 20 minutes, you are able to score 70 marks or 60 marks. Whereas when you see the other sections, you take a long time to get some score like 20, 25. Remember, every question in this is of 1 mark each. So 80, 60, 30, 30. These are the number of questions as well as the marks. So basically, I want to highlight the importance of GS for clearing phase 1. So all the aspirants should by heart this fact that they have to be pro in GS, because then only they will be able to clear the overall cutoff. The next is the reasoning and quant. These are sections where people tend to miss the overall sectional cutoff because they don't strategize their preparation, or they don't strategize on how to appear for the exam. So in quant, there are some questions which are very easy and there are some questions which are very, very difficult. And same is the case with reasoning. Some questions would be very easy. You will be able to solve in 30, 40 seconds or even up to 1 minute. Whereas some questions will be very difficult. You would take around 3 to 4 minutes to solve one question. So you have to make a good selection of question which has to be attempted to clear this aspect and this aspect. English is very moderate. and an average person will easily score between 20 to 25. So for most of the students who are serious about this exam, overall cutoff is not a problem. The problem is clearing sectional cutoff in reasoning and quant. So the strategy for this should be that you solve as many papers as you can before appearing for the exam. So you should join a good test series and this in a disciplined manner, give the test, analyze your scores and strategize yourself that what strategy is working for you. Like a strategy can be first doing GS or first doing mathematics or first doing reasoning and in the last doing something else. But take a point from me, never try to do a section which you consider very difficult in the end. So we have a question which sounds to me a very trivial question from Aditya Maurya. I'm not eligible this year, so if I attempt RBI Grade B this year, so will it be counted as my first attempt? When you appear in RBI, they ask for your Aadhaar number these days, and most of the exams today ask for your Aadhaar number. So there is no chance of impersonation or your attempt not getting counted. So my advice would be don't take that risk. So there is a question from Rahul. What was your order? What was my order of selecting the sections in the phase 1? So as I said, first of all, you should solve as many papers as you can so that you can develop your own strategy. But regarding my order, initially for the 5-10 minutes, I did the GS, around 40 questions. Then I left the GS. Then I straight away jumped to the quant and selected around 10-12 questions which I had to attempt, because in my mind 12 was fixed as the sectional cutoff, which is 40%, which is the highest sectional cutoff they have ever kept. So 12 was my target over here. So I selected 13 questions which I had to attempt. I attempted those and then jumped to the reasoning section. Then here my target was around 27 to 28 questions. So I did these. Then English, and finally in the last 5-10 minutes I again jumped to GS. Why I did so was because I had earlier also appeared for this and I couldn't qualify phase 1 because of one simple reason. First was I chose the wrong questions in the reasoning section, like the puzzles etc. which are very huge, and if you are not able to solve, then you will miss the exam. Second reason was in the last 5-10 minutes I get very pressurized, which is very normal for any student. When the clock is ticking in the opposite and it is 5 minutes, then 4 minutes, then 3 minutes, you tend to lose your stability, and you are in that condition it is very difficult to solve a reasoning question or a quant question. Whereas even in that 5 to 10 minutes, it is very easy to do a GS question because you have to just see it and mark it. You don't have to think. You already remember the fact, you have to just do it. And it only takes around 10 to 20 seconds to do a question in GS. So I always keep last 5 to 10 minutes for some 10-20 questions of GS, so that my overall time is utilized. But there is no one strategy. When you solve the papers, you will develop even better strategy. Regarding what you should prepare for GS, uh, this GS of RBI phase 1 is composed of two aspects, or rather any exam is made around two things only. One is concept and other are facts. So in phase 1 there is more of facts, and in phase 2 there is more of concept. So in phase 1, you should remember all the facts like the schemes launched by Government of India, in which areas they were launched, or what was the first district where it was inaugurated or launched, then what was the amount allocated for that scheme, and what are the eligibility conditions, is it universal scheme or like that, like these. Then names of books written by some authors which are in news, some things, few aspects related to polity which are in news. For example, recently the finance bill is in news. Finance bill is a money bill. So what is the article number of money bill? Which is 110. So these kind of things which comes in news is important for general awareness. Regarding the book for reasoning, I did not follow any book. What I did was I solved around 10 to 12 papers and that was it. But it depends on your level of preparation. I was actually good in analytical aspects, so reasoning, quant, these were not very difficult for me. I tried to get the old papers of RBI, or I joined test series also, like CL test series, which helped me. So any test series you can join, or any old papers if you can get from the internet, those would suffice. So we have a question. Do we need to prepare for economy related GS or it's generalized? Good question. Definitely the focus of this exam is on economy. Like what is the GDP? What is the GDP growth rate? What is the growth forecasted by World Bank? What is the growth forecasted by World Economic Forum? Or what is the rank of India in Global Competitive Index? Who gives this index? These are a major portion of this. But simultaneously you can not aware the you cannot skip the other sections like polity, some aspects, or some person in news, places in news. These things cannot be missed. I think you should devote good amount of time to GS because it is a very good game. If you do GS, no one can take you off from the final cutoff of phase 1. If you are good in GS, all you have to worry about 10-12 questions in maths and some 20-25 questions in reasoning. That's it. You will be through. Now, this was the English paper, not a paper, but English related facts regarding this previous paper. So it had 10 questions on reading comprehension, 10 questions on closed test. Closed test is they give you a one paragraph, one big long paragraph, which has fill in the blanks. So there are 10 fill in the blanks in one paragraph and you have to fill those from the options given. Then parajumbles, in parajumbles you have statements, like 6 statements, then you have to arrange them to form a meaningful paragraph. Then spotting the error, 5 questions on those. Then in reasoning you have puzzles like sitting arrangement. This person loves yellow, this person works in XX company, this person lives on this floor, now arrange these things. These are puzzles. Then input and output. Then inequalities, coding, decoding, syllogisms like all A or B, data sufficiency questions, and some miscellaneous questions. My personal strategy was as uh, as as long as I can stay away from puzzles because they are very difficult to solve and there are chances that you devote 10 minutes to a puzzle and still you are not able to crack it, and if that happens your 10 minutes will be wasted. So in puzzles, a paragraph is given and there are 6, 7 or 8 or 10, even up to 10 questions. So there is a temptation that if I can solve this puzzle, I will straight away get 6, 7 questions. But my advice, personal advice would be that you first do the simpler questions and when you have time, then go for the puzzles. But as I said, there is no one strategy. It might be true that I am not good in puzzle, but you might be very good in puzzles and for you a puzzle can be a different game. For example, you can solve a puzzle in 5 minutes and you can get 10 questions correct. So this all strategy you can build only when you attempt like 2 or 3, at least 3 or 4 question papers. So we have a question from Ashwarya. I'm in the final year of my BTech. Is this the right time to prepare for RBI? Can I clear the interview if I try hard, or MBAs are preferred? I'm not an MBA, and most of the people joining this organization are BTech students only. And even RBI is happy with this fact that analytical people are joining this institute. And MBA is not very much required. And of course, this is the right time to prepare, because more you delay it, more the competition will increase. I will give you some statistics regarding number of candidates appearing in this exam, and you yourself will realize how the competition is increasing. So start as early as you can and target the very next attempt, which is coming up in July itself, hopefully. And interview is not just a test of your knowledge. It is a test of your personality. So doing MBA will not change your personality too much. So I think this is the right time for you to prepare for this. And this is a job which your college cannot offer through placements. Definitely I can say this. Now in mathematics you had number series, data interpretations, quadratic equation related questions, and miscellaneous. Again, you have to choose the easier ones first, do them, don't miss the easier questions. Then general awareness, it had current affairs, banking terminologies, schemes of the government, and some miscellaneous aspects. See, RBI conducts this exam almost every year, but it is not guaranteed that they will conduct it every year. This they have mentioned in an RTI reply. So like in 2013, RBI was not conducted, but in 14, 15, 16, it was conducted. So I'm expecting that notification will be out soon, and in July, or even in, yeah, I think in July there will be exam, or maybe August, but not later than that. So this is the summary for strategy for phase 1. Choose the right question, manage the time, analyze the time spent per question, and number of attempts made. As there is negative marking, you should be economical in your attempts, but not too economical that you miss the chance to clear the exam itself. So we have a question: the pattern of preparation for RBI and NABARD is same or different? It is almost same. If you prepare for RBI, you are preparing for 100. When you are appearing for NABARD, you have to prepare for 90 out of that 100. Plus some 2 to 3 additional points, like you have to know something about agriculture, because NABARD is basically a bank related to agriculture and rural development. So you should know some aspects of those things, but otherwise it is purely RBI Grade B preparation. Now we come to the phase 2. So phase 2 has 3 papers. Paper 1 is economic and social issues, which is entirely objective. Paper 3, finance and management, which is again entirely objective. And paper 2, which is English, which is descriptive, but it is online. So it implies that they will give you questions like write an essay on this, or write a précis on this, or reading comprehension, and you have to type the answers through keyboard. Now each paper is of 100 marks, and time duration for this is 90 minutes. Phase 1 is very much different from phase 2 in one aspect, which is speed. So in phase 2, you do not need that much speed. but in phase 1 you need tremendous speed. In phase 2 it is more of your knowledge testing and your analytical ability. So paper 1 ESI had 65 questions, English had 3 questions, and again finance and management had 65 questions. So now we will discuss the paper 1, that is the ESI, economic and social issues. So as the name itself suggests, you should know the economy, which is the Indian economy, and social. Social does not mean you should know sociology. It actually means that you should know the schemes related to Government of India, economic things like poverty, unemployment, those things which makes the life of people. So this is the economic and social issues. In this you have 35 questions of 2 marks each and 30 questions of 1 mark each. So 35 into 2 is 70 and 30 into 1 is 30, which makes the overall 100. So one aspect regarding this 35 question is there is some passage given in the site and then 2 questions are there. So like a question can be on poverty and unemployment and the passage can be related to poverty and unemployment. But the answer to these questions is not contained in the passage. This passage only establishes a context for you to think and analyze, but answers can be given only from your knowledge. Now the next 30 questions, so these 35 questions were some bit analytical. You had to think and also know the aspect. Whereas these 30 questions of 1 mark each were straight away factual. So very straight and very factual. So you should know many things like Tawang. Some of the questions were Tawang is in which state, what is the meaning of disinflation, which you can term to be analytical. Then what was the number of yes and number of no's in Brexit, or how much did the Sensex fall or rise on the next day of Brexit. So these kinds of numbers. I forgot to mention one thing, which is numbers. RBI loves numbers. Any number, just remember it by heart. For example, it can be what is the per capita income of India, it can be what is the GDP of India, or it can be how much thousands of crores has been allocated to MG Narega this budget, in this budget, or it can be any other thing, what is the amount received by states, or anything. Whatever number you see or you come across, just remember it. For example, what is the rank of India in Global Competitiveness Index or ease of doing business? These kinds of numbers are very important for this exam. So we have a question, is reading the passage which is given is important or time can be saved by skipping it? First of all, as I said that phase 2 is not a game of speed. So you will have ample of time. All the questions are objective. You have to just see and tick mark. So it won't take more than 70 minutes for you to finish the paper even when you read the passages. So you should not skip the passages because it can be useful in some aspect, or it can actually make you think in the right direction at least. And it is not like a thing written in stone that passages won't have the answer to this question. Sometimes RBI can change the pattern and this passage might have this answer also. So you must read whatever is given in the paper, including the instructions which comes before the paper. So there is a query regarding I have not studied from any fancy college. RBI is not looking for fancy college. RBI is looking just at your knowledge and personality. If you suit the working culture of RBI, they will definitely take you. They are not, and no, this year itself, not many people are from different fancy colleges like IITs or IIMs. Some people are there, which tells you the importance of this job, but it is not necessary to be from a fancy college. What is necessary is you prepare hard for this exam, you sit for the exam, and you work diligently for the interview. Now, this next slide is regarding the English, which is paper 2. So this year it had 3 questions. One was essay, one was précis, and 5 questions related to comprehension. So précis is you have to shorten the paragraph to 1/3 of the original length. And essay was most challenging aspect this year because you had to write the essay in just 200 words only. When you actually try to do this, you will find how challenging is this task, because essays are usually of 2000 words or maybe 1500 words, 1000 words, but to summarize everything in just 200 words is very challenging. So it calls for being very crisp. So for this, you should write and write more as possible. And you should read good stuff such as good newspapers like Indian Express or the Hindu, Business Line, etc., which will help you for phase 1, phase 2, as well as for your interview in building your viewpoint, etc. But don't just read, please write. Please write. Otherwise, you won't be able to write the crisp in the crisp manner which is desired for this exam. One of the topic was like impact of GST on common man. Other topic was farmer suicide, impact of farmer suicide. So you will have choices in essay, but only thing you have to make note of, you have to write in 200 words or 300 words only. So start practicing on how to write very crisp. Now, this is the paper which confuses most of the people, that I'm an engineer or I am from arts background and I don't have any finance and management background. So will I be able to crack this paper or this and that? Most of the people for this exam are also preparing for UPSC. So they are good in economics and they are good in social issues, but they have no idea regarding finance and management. Yes, to some extent it is true that you don't have any idea of finance and management, but at the same time it is also true that you can prepare for this paper in like 10 to 15 days. So it is not a very difficult thing, especially for engineers. Finance is just meant for engineers. And I can tell you, you take the best of the banks like investment banks like Goldman Sachs or any consulting firms like McKinsey, etc., you will find engineers working over there and not too many commerce background people. So it is not like that that commerce is equivalent to finance and management. It is entirely different. And finance is more of mathematics. So if you are able to clear phase 1, that itself tells you have good ability to score in maths. And if you are good in maths, you will definitely be good in finance also. The only thing you have to do is uh, go through the syllabus of the RBI and make yourself familiar with every concept which is mentioned in the syllabus, like net present value, internal rate of return, all these things. So pattern was same as ESI, that is 35 into 2 35 into 2 and 30 into 1. So there is a question regarding English paper. Is there a penalty if we don't adhere to 200 words? There will be a penalty because it is a typing exam. So your words will be displayed as you type. So if you type 202, it will be displayed 202. If you type 305, it will be displayed 305. So it is not like if you write small, you can hide how many words you have written. Everything will be displayed clearly. So if the word limit is 200, I think 180 to even 230 is fine. but don't take that risk. Try to keep it up to 210 or maximum 220, but it should not be 300 or 400. And one more thing, uh, you should also do some typing practice, because sometimes it happens that we have a habit that Word or MS Word will autocorrect our spellings. You should switch off that autocorrect and then do the typing. And then you should minimize grammatical mistakes and eliminate spelling mistakes. If you do this, you will get very good marks in English. Forget about content. First two things are these only: spelling mistakes and grammatical mistakes. If these are not there, you will definitely score good in English. So there is a question on how much time we have to spend on essay in exam. As I said, this exam is not about speed. So just solve one or two papers before you sit for the exam. Not one or two, at least 3 or 4 papers before you sit for the exam. And then you yourself will realize how much time should be devoted to what question. Then coming back to the FM, so 35 questions were of 2 marks each and 30 questions of 1 mark each. So first of all, FM is two things. One is finance and one is management. So finance is related to numbers, whereas management is all about theories. So there were numerical questions, there were theoretical questions, and some questions related to your GS also, general awareness, in the sense that this paper also has Indian financial system in syllabus. Indian financial system, by Indian financial system I imply the things related to RBI, things related to SEBI, things related to IRDA, etc. These are the regulators in the financial system of India. So like what is the Monetary Policy Committee, what are the corporate governance norms given by SEBI, what is the rule regarding the independent directors in the company, these kind of questions. And management, like who gave the theory X, or what is theory X, what is theory Y of motivation, what is Maslow's need hierarchy, or who gave the need hierarchy, these kind of questions. And in finance you have questions related to, like if there is a project, what is the NPV, or the valuation of bonds, valuations of some project, like that. So the question is, FM is of CA IPCC level or more than that? Definitely it is lesser than IPCC, but you can prepare from IPCC books as well. There are multiple choice, definitely. This paper is entirely objective. You will be given 5 choices and the negative marks is 1/4. FM is not very high-fi. If you do it for 10 to 15 days, you will definitely score very good marks in FM. Regarding the ideal score, I would discuss this aspect when I come to the cutoffs. Now, this screenshot is taken from the RBI website. So the aggregate cutoff for paper 1, 2 and 3, that is the phase 2, was 176.75. So we can take it around 180, which means that you should score 60, 60, 60 at least. And the final cutoff was 225. So see the difference between 176 and 225. It is roughly around 49. And we have already seen that what is the marks allotted to interview. So the marks allotted to interview is 50. Now, even if the Raghuram Rajan goes to interview, it is not guaranteed that he will be awarded 50 on 50. Definitely not. Not even 49 or 48. So it is better that you score at least 10 marks extra in these and score cutoff plus 30 over here. So the ideal score should be 70, 70, 70 for this year. If you do that, you will be among the top. And if you score in more in one paper, for example, a score can be as high as 80 in economic and social issues. It can be as high as 75 to 80 in this year's finance and management paper. And even in English, some people have scored around 80 and 75, and 70 is average marks in English. So as I told you, not 70, but at least 68 is the average marks awarded to selected candidates this year. So you have to avoid grammatical mistakes and all those things, and you score average in English, then you score good in economic and social issues, or you score very good in finance and management. You will be definitely among the top, and your selection won't be dependent on interview. So there are people who have scored 44 marks in interview, and there are also people who have scored 20 marks in interview and are still there in the list because of their hard work. So my strategy would be don't depend on luck. Interview has some element of luck apart from your personality, but ESI, finance, these are not dependent on luck. These are purely dependent on your hard work. If you work hard, no one can stop you from getting 85 in ESI. If you work hard, no one can stop you from getting 80 marks in finance. If you get this, no one can stop you from becoming the RBI Grade B officer. There is a query regarding CL material. Is it enough for the FM? CL is a very reputed institute, and I think if they are providing some material, it will be definitely enough for the exam. Now this is the last year's cutoff. Why I am focusing on this is because of some reason. The pattern of examination has changed from the 2015 onwards. Before that, this exam was in phase 2 was entirely subjective. But since 2015 and even in 2016, this phase 2 was made entirely objective. Now when it was subjective, it was entirely the domain of UPSC aspirants. But since 2015, when this exam became objective, this is open to all. Whoever can work hard definitely can crack this exam without any special preparation like which is required in UPSC. So this is one aspect which is changing this exam. So 2015 was the first year when the exam became objective and online. So you see here, the final cutoff was 244. This year it is only 225. What it tells you is, because it was the first year when the exam was made objective, RBI tried to make it easy, or by mistake it was easy, I don't know. But this year the level of examination is significantly up. You can see from the cutoffs as well. Last year it was 197, this year it is only 176. Cutoff going lower tells you that exam is becoming more difficult in terms of the level of questions. Level of questions are increasing. So there is a question regarding what they want in personality. One thing is honesty. This is the first thing they are looking for. If you lie in the interview, you are gone. And of course some knowledge, and they are testing your interest. Basically you should have curiosity to know things, and you should know things. Now this is the statistics I would like to share with you all. This has been obtained from RBI through RTI. Now See the number of candidates appeared for Grade B exam this year. It is 1,66,000. And number of candidates finally who appeared in phase 1. So these were the number of candidates who applied for the exam, and this is the number of candidates who appeared in phase 1. So it is 1,05,000. Last year this number was only around 70,000, or I think it was less than 70,000, it was around 60,000. So see the quantum of jump in the number of candidates, and you will see similar kind of jumps in the coming years. So that is why it is important that you start very soon. The sooner you start, the sooner you crack, better is the probability that you actually crack the exam. The more you delay, the more intense will be the competition. So there is a query regarding the RBI culture. RBI culture is basically about honesty. You should be honest. This is the first thing they are expecting from you. And you should have some inclination towards gaining knowledge, that is curiosity, to know things. You should know what is happening in the economic space around the world, like how or why the petroleum prices are increasing or decreasing, what is the impact of India, what is the impact on India of the petroleum prices, and those things. And by the way, once you are done with phase 2, interview period is very long. Sometimes it can take up to 3 or 4 months after the phase 2 is over that you get the interview call. So there is ample time to prepare for the interview. Right now you should not worry about interview too much. Best strategy is the zero interview strategy. What is zero interview strategy? You should get as high marks as possible in phase 2, that even if you get 0 in interview, you should be able to qualify the exam. Now there is a query regarding, is reading complete economic survey important? I think it is important. And you should remember the facts which are given in the economic survey. The economic survey, the facts related to budget, these are important for phase 1 as well as phase 2 as well as interview. And especially the data regarding what is the fiscal deficit, what is the fiscal deficit target, what is the disinvestment target. Regarding the number of, regarding the topics of general awareness and essay, you can rely on any newspaper, Business Line, Hindu, Indian Express. Read their editorials. Make some small note or copy some good sentences in your notebook. This will help you in your essay preparation. Interview can be anything. It can be entirely on your hobby itself. There have been interviews which were based only on hobbies. No questions regarding knowledge was asked to them. No question regarding Indian economy or India or any other thing. But one good question is always asked, that why do you want to come to RBI? So be prepared to give a good answer for that question. And don't just say that it offers good salary. A good way can be to say this thing can be it offers a good career. So this thing is very a later on aspect. First you should focus on phase 1 and phase 2. You will get ample time to prepare for interview. Now I have already covered this, why you should start now. So there is a time constraint and the phase 2 is very somewhat vast. So you need to start early. And definitely you should score more than 70% in phase 2 to have a fighting chance for final selection. If you just clear the phase 2 cutoff, there is very limited chance that you will be through in the final list. So now, why you should look for career launcher? Now I have a friend over here who is from Career Launcher. He will speak to you regarding this aspect. So after that, we can have some more questions. So I hand over him the mic now.
Thank you, Saurabh, for the insightful session. So guys, how's the session? Are you motivated for RBI Grade B exam? Okay, that's great, Abhishek. So what we'll do is that Saurabh will be available to answer questions over email as well. So you can write to us over support@careerlauncher.com, and he'll be able to guide you in a better manner. Okay, and regarding what we are doing at CL for RBI Grade B. So first of all, CL is a great brand for CAT as well as UPSC and other exams. And the strength lies in finance and management and the ESI part. So CL has been conducting the sessions for phase 1 as well as phase 2. The sessions have started, and the various programs that are offered. Just a little bit about the results of last year. So these results are audited by a third-party consultant, and 23 CLIs cleared RBI Grade B Phase 1 examination 2016. 14 of them made to RBI Grade B Phase 2, and 4 were the final selection. That includes Saurabh as well. So what are we offering? So the classroom program, the phase 1 program consists approximately 100 hours of classroom sessions covering all the 4 aspects, that is your general studies, your reasoning, your English, and your quant. And phase 2, there's another 100 hours for that, and we'll be covering your essay, your English paper, your economic and social issues, and finance and management. Plus, there'll be 18 online mock tests, 7 for finance and management, 7 for ESI, and 4 for English. Okay, there's a question that gives some idea about cities where we have classroom course. So the classroom course is right now limited to Delhi per se right now. For students who are outside Delhi and who can't make it to Delhi, we have our online programs. So the online programs are right now heavily subscribed because a lot of students from all over India are preparing for RBI Grade B, and we have seen a spike in the number of students who want to appear for this exam because of how good a profile that this exam offers, that Saurabh has already told you about. So what you can do is that you can opt for an online program. We have already started the program. The phase 1 sessions, there are 30 plus sessions on phase 1 plus 12 online mock tests, and there are 10 ebooks for phase 1. There's a typo over here. It is 10 ebooks for phase 1. For phase 2, we have again 70 plus sessions, and there are 18 online mock tests. So the mock tests are 6 for finance and management, 6 for economic and social issues, 7 for finance and management, 7 for ESI, and 4 for English. Plus there are 14 ebooks in total for the comprehensive packages. A little about the test series. So our test series for phase 1 has already started, and for phase 2 as well. Today we'll be having our first test on economic and social issues. So if you want to know more about the programs, what you can do is you can log on to our website and go to RBI Grade B. The link is available over here, careerlauncher.com/banking/RBI Grade B. And in another case, you can write to us on support@careerlauncher.com. So we'll answer all your queries on it. Or you can contact any of your learning centers. They'll be able to guide you about which programs are available in their center, and if not, they'll be able to tell you that how you can avail it online. Abhishek, the charges for upgrading to the hardbound notes is 1500 rupees for phase 1 and 2000 for phase 2. So if you visit our website, we have the details of it available on the website. So guys, are there any other questions from your end? You can even write to us at support@careerlauncher.com, and if you have any specific queries for Saurabh, he'll be happy to answer those queries and happy to guide you in your journey towards RBI Grade B officer. So I think we'll wrap the session for today, and please write to us. Well, there's one question that whether only relying on CL will be enough. So this is a very subjective question, but we can tell from Saurabh's experience that Saurabh was associated with only CL. So maybe Saurabh could answer this question a little better.
Hello. Regarding that question that you have to join one institute or more, I think even one is more than enough, because even CL is providing around 20 to 30 test series, 20 to 30 tests for phase 1 and 10 to 15 for phase 2, like that. I was not able to give all of them. So I think that is a very good number. If you give 15 tests of phase 1 and 15 tests of phase 2, no one can stop you.
We have another question from Rahul, that is the online course live or the videos archived? So Rahul, it's a mix of both, but mostly the videos are live sessions. So we have WebEx live session, just like the one we are having right now. And these videos are also available in your SIS after the sessions have been conducted. For example, you are attending one session live right now, but you can go back to your SIS login and you can see the video as many number of times as possible. Satyajit, there's a question from Satyajit Nayak that what about the hardbound notes for phase 2? What about the contents? So Satyajit, the contents of the hardbound notes are exactly on the lines of the syllabus. So I can tell you about ESI and the finance and management, that is the phase 2, that forms a major chunk of phase 2. So in finance, we are covering all the topics that are mentioned in the RBI syllabus. That includes bond pricing, basics of derivatives, recent reforms in financial sector, and your banking, changing landscape of banking in India, your risk management in banking sector. So all the topics that are mentioned in the syllabus are being covered in the note as well. Jayati has asked that how many months of preparation is sufficient for both phase 1 and phase 2. Will it be okay if one starts for this year now? So I think Saurabh can better elaborate on this question.
Yeah, I think this is the right time to start for the preparation for this year itself, because you already have around 2 to 3 months left for preparation, which is quite sufficient. And if you are disciplined and you get a good guidance, then it is a lot more time. I think phase 1 requires around 1 month preparation, and phase 2 requires another 1 or 1.5 months preparation. That would be enough.
So guys, we'll be wrapping up the session now. Thank you for your response and thank you for your time. In case of any more queries, please write to us at support@careerlauncher.com. And for any information about the products, you can visit careerlauncher.com/banking/RBI Grade B. So thank you guys, and please write to us.